Hello, I'm Natasha Bryant-Woodfin. I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker in the state of South Carolina. It is my intention with this video to highlight and share a distinctive therapeutic resource to increase public access and to support the therapy provider. I dedicate this particular video to people who acknowledge the issues in their marriage and those who are committed to engaging in intensive marital counseling. I want to share a little information and a disclaimer. This resource was located on the Psychology Today website. The search was done for the state of South Carolina, and I'm not affiliated with Psychology Today nor the therapist I'm highlighting in this video. I also want to share that I had planned to include this resource with a few other resources in a video covering a different category originally. However, once I began to review the details of the services provided by this therapist, I quickly realized that I had to create a single video just to highlight this uniquely created program. For this therapy provider, I will highlight the practice, the therapist's credentials, the specialties addressed, the services provided, the therapy approaches the therapist uses with clients, and my opinion of the website. So the provider that I'm highlighting, the provider resource that I'm highlighting is the partner coach is the practice. The therapist is Kent McEachern. You can see him here. And he's based out of Daniel Island, South Carolina. He has 30 years of experience, and he's a licensed marriage and family therapist. His credentials are listed here. So his professional background and affiliations. I won't go through every single one, but there's a few I did want to highlight. And it is listed here as far as him being a licensed marriage and family therapist in South Carolina. He has a master's degree in counseling, psychology, and theology from Covenant Seminary. And let's see here. He is certified. He's a certified couple communication instructor, as it's listed there. And he's also a certified coach in collaborative family law. And then, as you can see here, there's numerous other credentials listed. You can certainly read those through those. His specialties, counseling specialties, include individual counseling, couples counseling, marriage and family counseling, therapy services in and around Mount Pleasant, Charleston, Daniel Island, West Ashley, North Charleston, Somerville, and other surrounding communities is what he lists. And then in terms of his therapy approach, he did list here under his professional background and affiliations that he has specialized training and experience using EMDR, and that is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy. And then he also utilizes cognitive behavioral therapy, psychodynamic therapy, solutions-focused brief therapy, and Jungian psychology. Okay, and then he has advanced training in the Gottman couples therapy method at a level 3. And I believe here under Gottman couples therapy in the menu, There's more information about that approach here on his website. As far as assessment, it's a conjoint session followed by individual interviews with each partner that's conducted. Couples complete questionnaires and then receive detailed feedback on their relationship. As far as the therapeutic framework, the couple and therapist decide on the frequency and duration of the sessions. The therapeutic interventions include that they're designed to help couples strengthen their relationships in 3 primary areas of friendship, conflict management, and creation of shared meaning. And then, in addition to the Gottman method, communication, couple communication 1 in the menu here. That framework includes recognizing the 7 ingredients of a collaborative marriage, choosing communication styles, using the awareness wheel, applying the listening cycle, and then mapping issues. And then there's definitely additional details about the learning formats and methods, and then the user-friendly couple materials. You can definitely read more about that here. Then there's also the, Thrive Sphere concept that he utilizes as well. So Thrive Sphere provides a visual reflection of a relationship. It displays the views of each partner and reveals how those views interconnect. And now it's possible for couples and facilitators to get on the same page quickly. And you can read more about that concept here. And then there's also the partner coach approach. And it does seem that you can read more about that here as well. But to summarize it, basically, it's just a combination of the couple communication that I just reviewed, the couple communication course, as well as the Thrive Sphere inventory. That's combined. And then the next thing to take a look at after all of that information regarding Mr. McEachern's therapy approach that he uses, which includes all of those components. The services that he provides includes individual counseling, couples counseling, online coaching, and then the partner coach approach. For individual counseling and psychotherapy, he addresses numerous topics from anxiety and depression using cognitive behavioral therapy to trauma and PTSD using the EMDR approach that I mentioned, that method. Some of the other things might be anger management, addictions, treating couples in addiction recovery. Let's see, emotional, physical, sexual, and spiritual abuse, separation and divorce, men's issues, life coaching, and mentor coach training. Okay. And then for the couples counseling, as you can see, there's obviously a number of different bullets here as well. There is the premarital counseling using the Prepare Einrich inventory. When you click on that, it kind of takes you to this website. I have not looked in too much detail at this. You could probably, kind of check that out if you were interested and ask him more about that. And then there's treating affairs, betrayal, and trauma as a couple, infidelity and betrayal, affair recovery. Let's see, the communication and conflict resolution. I believe it's going to take you to that couple communication model that I showed you a few moments ago. And then the Gottman couples therapy method. It's going to take you back to this explanation that I just went over as well. Now, I've clicked on the couples on the brink and discernment counseling, and they didn't appear to be working. I don't know if that means that some of the other models he uses covers those, or if he has made some changes to the site, but this is a listing of the things that he works on with couples in couples counseling. And then there's the online counseling services. He just kind of speaks to the benefits of online counseling a little bit there. He has some pricing in terms of the initial 75-minute session, 60-minute individual sessions, and then there's also the 75-minute sessions and just some other pricing that he can explain in more detail if you were to contact him. And that does seem like they're, let's see, it says online counseling, but that's also to the online assessment. And then there's online coaching. Let me see here, right here. So he gives some examples of how the online coaching could be beneficial. He speaks about the Prepare Einrich inventory. I think it's a 6-session course, and then the couple communication course, which is a 6-session course as well. Then the Gottman relationship checkup, which is 4 sessions, and the 5 love languages, which is a 4-session course. I think that's pretty cool. The 5 love languages course is based on the book by Dr. Gary Chapman. I'm familiar with that. It's a really cool concept. Myers-Briggs type indicator. It's a 4-session course as well. So you can read more information about those detailed listings. And then, of course, if there's any questions, you should definitely contact him to ask and inquire. And then as far as fees go, because as much as I've mentioned the session courses that have like 4 sessions and 6 sessions, there's also the individual sessions that he does offer, 60-minute sessions, 75-minute sessions, 90-minute sessions. So you can check into that, read more about the insurance piece of things, the payment and whatnot. And of course, call him or email him to get more information if you're interested. And then one of the things that really drew my attention about this provider is the intensive counseling retreats that he offers. That's a very unique setup and format for couples counseling. Again, here's more information and details about the intensive couple counseling retreats. He speaks about the benefits. Just a quick summary of what I read was that the intensives, they can occur over the course of the weekend. So there's 6-hour retreat options, 12-hour retreat options, and like the 12-hour one, for example, would be 2 6-hour days, Saturday and Sunday. So that falls on the weekend. And then things like having to, if you have children, if you're having to consider childcare or your work schedule and how sometimes it can be difficult to take time off to do counseling. Sometimes taking care of it and doing it intensively over the course of a weekend, he has seen be very, very effective for couples, and this is why he offers them. So there are definitely options where, again, 6-hour, 12-hour, 16-hour treatment. 16-hour retreat, 18-hour retreat, and then there's options to do it over the course of the weekdays as well. But that would just take some planning with him. And one of the things, I know the pricing might appear to be pretty steep, but the fact that he's utilizing his weekends to do this says a lot. The fact that, just after going through the website and looking at the models that he uses and how I believe it looks like they're evidence-based models, from the Gottman method to the communication one, to the Thrive Sphere. So he's definitely showing you what all tools would be used in those retreats. And then you can kind of see over here the testimonies One of the testimonies that caught my attention, let me look back over here, see if I can find the one that I was looking at. Yes. And so this speaks of a woman describing how she was on the brink of divorce with her husband, and then she reached out to Mr. McEachern, Mr. Kent McEachern, for help in terms of therapy. She chose a male therapist, to try to make it more inviting and comfortable for her husband to engage. There was something here she mentioned about, again, there was an affair, and then she mentioned that she suspected her husband might have or might be diagnosed or could have Asperger's, and that was something that they were able to have confirmed based on working with Mr. McEachern. And sometimes those kind of diagnoses can help in a person understanding themselves, what's going on, why they're doing the things they're doing. And I think it's just, if you take a look at the other multiple testimonies, you can just see how eye-opening it is to do something like an intensive couples counseling retreat, the kind that Mr. McEachern is offering, and the impact that it could have, the possible positive impact that it could have. So I just wanted to highlight that. If you wanted to read through it, I didn't want to read it word for word since it is here. And if you're interested, you can read through it. But I wanted to at least, kind of guide you to those testimonies, because if you're looking at the pricing, if it seems kind of steep, it does seem like it could very well be worth it, just depending on where you are in your relationship and what type of counseling you're looking for. Again, he does offer a range of options, from hourly sessions to the 4 and 6 session courses to the multiple options of intensives. So I just thought that this provider is definitely doing couples counseling in a pretty unique way that I haven't, seen too often. And then he's also listing on his website here all of the approaches and models and evidence-based materials that he's using to get the results for the couples counseling. The other positive thing about this website, because I know I mentioned the testimonies, is the links. Let's see here. If I go back to the home page here, he did post an audio with the interview with the coaching client about the differences between coaching, counseling, and psychotherapy. If you're interested in listening to that, you could click on it. And then he also included the link for the Gottman Referral Network provider. I thought that was a cool resource to list there. And then he also listed a link for the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. If you're not able to get in with Mr. McEachern directly himself, for whatever reason, you can click on this link, and I believe, let me do that here. You'd be able to search for, find a therapist. I know that I'm listing Mr. McEachern, and he's out of South Carolina, so you might be able to, find a therapist in your state if you're not in South Carolina. But definitely the fact that he included this as a resource is pretty helpful. So you can take a look at that if you were interested. Another thing, I think just overall his website, so between the audio link there, right here, the Gottman Referral Network provider link, the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, and then just all the information about the models that he uses, the fact that they are evidence-based. It's a very informative website. And again, I think this provider is just doing couples counseling in a way that has a range of options for the couples that might be looking. The other thing I did want to mention too is he did mention that he is doing online coaching. The reason I want to highlight this is because with his credential as a licensed marriage and family therapist, you're kind of bound by the state that you're licensed in for those services. But when it comes to things like coaching, if I'm not mistaken, and you can double check with him if you wanted to, again, reach out to him either by email or by phone. I believe the coaching is something that could be offered regardless of state, as long as you're, I guess, if you have whatever credential for the coaching and it's a national um, certification, I guess. I don't know the details, so you'd have to definitely call him to ask. But the difference would be if you're not in the state of South Carolina and you're wanting some form of services from him, I think the coaching could be a service you receive from him. You'd have to contact him to confirm that. But I do know that things like the license, the marriage and family therapy services that he provides would have to be done based on him providing them to clients within the same state that he's in. And that's just a legal thing that the states have in place to make sure that providers are licensed and providing the service effectively in that way. So you can certainly look into that, contact him. Again, his email is here, his phone number is here. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, he just listed here, I've included several ways to contact me. Please call, email, text, or simply complete the information on the bottom of this page. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. So he has like a map here of his location, and then you can also contact him through this messaging setup here. All right. I hope this is helpful. Thank you. To summarize this therapy resource, the practice was partner coach. The therapist is Kent McEachern. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist, and the website is partnercoach.com. If you liked this video, please click the like button. If you have any positive and/or constructive feedback as opposed to destructive feedback, please comment on this content. Feel free to share this video if you think it could be helpful for others. Please subscribe to the channel, as I will be uploading additional content like this video as well as other therapy-related information. And lastly, if you feel inclined to donate a contribution, you can do so on PayPal at Natasha Bryant-Woodfin. If you want to, you can also connect with me on my Simple Practice website. It is natasha-bryant-woodfin.clientsecure.me. Just as a reminder, I am credentialed to, and my practice is geared toward providing support to therapy providers in their work with clients. I am not working directly with therapy clients currently. You can also check out my LinkedIn page by clicking on the link on my YouTube channel. And then, of course, my YouTube is at Natasha Bryant-Woodfin-LICSW. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and energy. I appreciate you.